Hello, good morning, and welcome to our St. Patrick's Day celebrations. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here today, and thank you for coming. My name is Margaret Maguire, and I work with the Rural Health Partnership based in Cullyhammer. This programme today is part of our Bringing Back the Keeley House set of programmes, and today we're delighted to bring you lots of stories and crack and poetry from the heart of South Armagh. This programme was funded by the Department for Communities as part of the Warm Well and Connected project and facilitated by the Healthy Living Alliance and delivered to you today by the Rural Health Partnership Healthy Living Centre. The whole idea behind this programme is that you are safe and you're warm and you're well at home, but yet we're connecting. And that's what we hope to do today. We hope you sit back, you can enjoy the programme, relax, sing along and clap, dance, whatever takes your fancy. We'd also like to thank Tony Doherty. Tony is one of our funding bodies through another Healthy Living Alliance, and he was one of the main inspirations for starting this programme. So thank you so much, Tony, for all your work and input. So we have a brilliant session set up for you today, and I'll just introduce the artists to you. So first of all, we have Terry Conlon Sr. Terry is a well-known accordion player in the South Armagh area and further afield, of course. He has played in several bands over the years. He could put his hand to playing anything, in fact, but his main instrument is the accordion, and he's a great storyteller and does a bit of a sing-song as well. So thank you, Terry. Next, we have Terry Conlon Jr., the son of the other Terry. Terry is a songwriter, a singer, and he plays the guitar. And he's recently, in the last number of years, released his own album called Homegrown. So I hope you enjoy Terry today. Thank you, Terry. And last but not least, we have Padraig Carr. Padraig is from Mullaban in South Armagh, and he's a brilliant guitar player. So I hope you enjoy our three artists and relax and take part, clap, and please use the chat facility if you'd like to send in any requests, and we'll see that they get them. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you. I'll just spotlight the artists now. Thank you.
Walking down the line, walking down the line, I feel the beat flying, tell me about your troubled mind. I'm walking down the line, walking down the line, I'm walking down the line, I'm walking down the line, I feel the beat flying, tell me about your troubled mind. I'm walking down the line, I'm walking down the line, I'm walking down the line, I feel the beat flying, tell me about your trouble, tell me about your trouble, tell me about your trouble, mind.
Yeehaw. It's country music you want, it's country music you're gonna get. Yeah! Happy St. Paddy's Day to all out there.
It's great to be here in the Wall Centre in Cullyhanna, folks. We're delighted to see so many people join us, zooming in from all over the world to take part in this.
Is there actually people from Dorsey here as well? Oh, that's amazing.
Have Wi-Fi, I don't think.
Padraig, can you turn off the sound a wee bit? It's a bit low.
Oh, sorry, what are you joking, all them lovely Dorsey people? You're very
We're just
welcome.
trying to get a couple of technical issues sorted out here in regards to sound, so just bear with us one wee second. We have young Terry Conlon Jr. Multitasking here. He's not only playing and singing, but he's doing sound man as well, sound engineer as well. Good man, Terry.
And he knows nothing but nothing.
What about a couple of tunes, boys?
Trying to get the sound turned off. So
Listen, during we have a screen. I think we can kind of see who's coming up. If you've any requests, just keep them to yourself. We've a very short set list, and we don't like to diverge from it. I'm only joking, of course. If you've any sets you want, give us a shout. This will be hornpipe. A lot of the older generation out there will remember this tune. It's called The Boys of Blue Hill. I don't know where Blue Hill is, but wherever it is, there's a tune about it anyway. It's probably the first hornpipe I learned from the great playing of John Murphy about 40 years ago. And we're going to a couple of reels after that. And the first reel is Miss Monaghan. And the second reel is called, if I can remember, The Galway Rambler. Anybody from Galway? And we finish off with a tune called The Reconciliation. But here's the Boys of Blue Hill first. Thank you.
Oh, I bet you're all dancing around the kitchen or the living room there or wherever you are. So,
We're also taking requests as well, if anybody has any requests.
the inbox is full there, Terry. Look at.
Padraig, we can't hear you enough. Can you turn yourself up a wee bit?
Is my accordion this? We have a dodgy lead here somewhere. There's that lead there. Let's do it. Is there another one in that bag over there? Sorry, we're just trying to sort out a dodgy lead here somewhere. The first sound check I ever done was in Hughes's pub in the main street in Castleblaney, Mountain. Way back years ago with Jerry Martin. He lived over by Lisleitrim. And Jerry played the fiddle. But he'd be short, small hand, and he'd be short fingers. And every time he hit the top string on the fiddle, he'd make a grunting sound. When he'd hit the high string. And our sound check in Hughes's in Castleblaney was, go out there, gas, and he says onto the main street, he says, and tell me if you can hear me. And I'd go out and he'd stand on the main street in Castleblaney, and he would be inside playing this tune, and he'd be grunting, and all you could hear coming out onto the street was just, hoo, hoo, hoo. I said, Jerry, that's it, sounds good. So we're a bit the same here today with the sound. Not right, talents. These guitar players do an awful lot of tuning up. Oh, my God. The patience I have over the years with them, I tell you.
That's why he's as grey as he is. But not with us.
What number is that make there, probably, for your guitar?
That's number 3, I do believe.
Right, what are you doing, Padraig?
We're doing a Miner's Life.
Oh, be God.
So,
Yeah.
this song was taken from an album that Solus took out a number of years ago. Miner's Life. I'm sure as soon as we heard it, sure it was a must do. It was right up on the list, you know. So, I remember driving to a gig one night in Uri in the Railway Bar, and it was just myself and young Terry in the van, and we were coming through Camlin, and I says, "Will you hear this song here, Finn?" You know. And I stuck it on. You mind that? I stuck it on the CD player, and the CDs back then, in them days.
Still is CDC.
and anyway, but a day or two later, here he comes rocking up, fashioning this song that he just heard, Miner's Life. So we'll let him at it now.
Miner's life is like a sailor on board a ship across the waves. Every day his life's in danger, many ventures, being brave. Watch the rocks, they're falling daily. Careless miners always fail. Keep your eyes upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners stand together, do not heed the coal board's tale. Keep your eyes upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. You've been docked and docked again, boys. You've been loading 3, 4, 1. What's the use in all your working when your mind days are done. Worn-out shoes and worn-out miners, blackened lungs and faces pale. So keep your hands upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners, stand together, do not heed the cold board's tale. Keep your hands upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. In conclusion, bear in memory, keep this password in your mind. Workers' strength cannot be broken when the union is combined. Stand up, soul, stand together. Victory shall prevail. So keep your hands upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners, stand together. Do not heed the cold board's tale. Keep your hands upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners, stand together. Do not heed the cold board's tale. Keep your hands upon your wages and your eye upon the scale.
There you are, Miner's Life
Miner's Life.
by Terry Jr. See Joe Murphy there. Wave your hand there, Joe, if you can see us. Jesus, that's how technology is a tar, isn't it? It's the first time on St. Patrick's Day that we can play and we're not getting trampled over.
And we can hear ourselves.
And we can hear ourselves.
Maybe
It's a bit strange.
Maybe it was better the way it used to be. And
we're sober.
we're sober.
So we're in the wall centre, it'll be the fields like around the village, so sneak in and you can sit around us and so Devil the One will see you. Yeah, we'll try a song. This is one for you to all sing along with this one. We're going to keep it nice and simple today. And I don't know whether anybody's tuned in from around Dublin. And probably is. This will be a song called Dublin in the Early Times. Who wrote it? Pete St. John, was it? Or
What?
who wrote this? Not too sure. It's a great old song anyway. I need to tell you happy this. We're all a bit rusty. It's been a while since we played. So if you're sitting in the house there, now's your chance to join in, at least in the chorus, or the whole lot if you know it.
Fields of Athenery. Somebody's just requested for the Fields of Athenery.
There's an American girl here helping us out called Kit, and she can't say Athenry. She says Athenery, so
Athenery.
you get. Here we go. race on songs and stories, heroes of renown, the passing tales and glories that once was Dublin town. The hallowed halls and houses, the haunting children's rhymes, that once was part of Dublin in the rare old times. Here we go. Ring a rosy, as the lights decline, I remember Dublin city in the rare old times. My name it is Sean Dempsey, as Dublin as can be, born hard and late in Pimlico, in a house that ceased to be. My trade I was a cooper, lost out to redundancy, like my house that fell to progress, my trade's a memory. And I courted Peggy Tagnan, as pretty as you please, a rogue child of Mary from the rebel liberties. I lost her to a student chap with skin as black as coal, when he took her off to Birmingham, he took away my soul. Here we go. Ring a rosy, as the lights decline, I remember Dublin city in the rare old times. The years have made me bitter, the gargles dimmed me brain, 'cause Dublin keeps on changing, nothing seems the same. The pillar and the Met have gone, the Royal since pulled down, as the great unyielding concrete makes a city of my town. Here we go. One. Ring a rosy, as the lights decline, I remember Dublin city in the rare old time. Very well, sweet Anna Liffey, I can no longer stay and watch the new glass cages spring up along the quay. My mind's too full of memories, too old to learn new chimes. I'm a part of what was Dublin in the rare old times. Here we go. Ring a rosy, as the lights decline,
I remember Dublin City in the red time.
One more time.
The ring the rosy as the lights decline. I remember Dublin City in the red time.
Thank you. Still a dodgy lead here somewhere.
So we have to wait till they finish clapping.
Is that an echo?
See if there's one more in that bag. Sorry about this. There's something rattling here.
I was in Newry there just before I came over, and I had to go into the pet shop. I don't know what it is about our house, but every kind of stray animal in the country seems to come across the river down into Tullymacreeve and lands at our house. And sure, my woman takes every stray in, including myself. And there's this particular tomcat that has arrived, and we said we'd better go in and get him something for fleas and worms and things like that, you know. And it put me in mind of a time when there was a priest there in Mullaban, a boy called Father Morta. And I never had much time for cats myself, and neither had Father Morta. In fact, he was coming down the Chapel Hill one day. He was heading down into McKenna's shop. Pat and Lorraine McKenna had a shop there. It was a post office and a shop, and he went in every day and he got the paper. And this particular day, he was coming down the Chapel Hill, and sure, Lorraine had these big fluffy cats, and sure, wasn't one of them out. And sure, what did Father Morta do? And he drove over it and killed it stone dead. And sure, Lorraine seen the whole practice unfolding from the shop window. And by the time he got out of the car and got in, sure, Lorraine was there. Lorraine was always dressed up. She was like a woman that was going somewhere but never really went anywhere. And by the time he got in, the mascara was down at her knees, and he says, "What's wrong with you, woman?" And she says, "Oh, Father," she says, "you're after running over me cat." He says, "Well, I'll tell you something," he says, "there's two things in this life I hate." He says, "That's cats and crying women." So that put the end to the crying. How are we getting on down there, lads?
Wait, what have you
Well,
shot?
we have a request for one of my own songs, Homegrown.
Good stuff.
So I suppose I'll give it a go here. The song is about this part of the country.
I'll just sit down one ahead.
Hear the rattling of the stone, driving up the lane as I'm heading home. The pebbles sound just like the rain. Man, it's good to be back again. And although I may roam, venture for the unknown, there'll never be a place just quite like home. All these cities where I have flown, I will never call my own, 'cause I am my homegrown. Youngest brother takes my hand. We wander through our father's land. walk on by the rustling leaves, swayed by the breeze among the newborn trees. And although I may roam, venture far to the unknown, there'll never be a place just quite like home. All these cities where I have flown, I will never call my own, 'cause I am a homegrown. Even if I sail the deepest oceans, even if I'm miles away from home, even if I travel the world for months or years, oh, I'll never forget where I come from. Never forget, never forget, never forget, never forget, never forget, never forget where I come from. Never forget, never forget, never forget, never forget, forget, never forget where I come from. Down the hill to the crossroads, by the bog where the moss grows on the old stones, past the lake where the dawn breaks on the mountain peaks, where the crisp morning air kisses my cheeks. And although I may roam, venture far to the unknown, there'll never be a place just quite like home. In all these cities where I have flown, I will never call my own, 'cause I am my home. And although I may roam, venture far to the unknown, there'll never be a place just quite like home. In all these cities where I have flown, I will never call my own, 'cause I am a homegrown. A homegrown. It's where I come from.
You. Lovely stuff. Mighty. Mighty. Mighty stuff.
We have a couple of requests coming in here as well. We've got says the town I love so well for mummy. So I think that must be my granny. We could definitely do that.
All right, so the Derry Wans are tuned in up there in Shantala. So.
Well, I assume it's your man they're talking about.
Right, my father-in-law would be from Shantala and Derry. And I mean, well, when Armagh won the All-Ireland in 2002, we were talking about it last night. When we beat Dublin in the semi-final, me and the young buck here, I was only about 9 or 10, and a few of the children, raced back to the Carrickdale Hotel to see the victorious Armagh team arrive anyway. And UTV Live was there, and we jumped out of the car, and the children running across the car park, shouting about Armagh. And I got interviewed on the screen anyway. And the man says, "What has it been to you?" And I went, "It's the best day of my life. The best day of my life." And meanwhile, Paddy O'Donnell was above up in Derry watching this. And he says, "What about himself?" He says, "What about the day you married my daughter?" So, this is for you, Paddy. Are you doing it?
I'll give it a go. sure if this is the right key, but
I actually
this is a
gigged.
bit off the cuff here. We'll give it a go on you.
I actually gigged at my own wedding with a band called Tatch, and that was the last song we played because the band got very drunk during the day, and in the middle of the town I love so well, and me playing at my own wedding, big Brandy Armstrong from the Falls Road fell through the mixing desk and coped the whole lot. So we had to have a session for the rest of the night. So memories, Paddy. Good luck.
In my memory, I will always see the town that I have loved so well. When our school played ball by the old gas yard wall, and we laughed through the smoke and the smell. Going home in the rain, running up the dark lane, past the jail, down behind the fountain. Those were happy days in so many, many ways. In the town I loved so well. In the early morning, the shirt factory horn called women from Creggan, the moor and the bog, while their men on the dole played a mother's role, fed the children and then trained the dog. And when times got tough, there was just about enough, but they saw it through without complaining. For deep inside was a burning bright in the town I loved so well. There was music there in the dairy air, like a language that we could all understand. I remember the day when I earned my first pay, when I played in a small pickup band. There I spent my youth, and to tell you the truth, I was sad to leave it all behind me. For I learned about life, and they got me away in the town I loved so well. I returned, how my eyes, oh, they burned to see how a town could be brought to its knees, and the gas and the armour cars and the bombed out bars and the gas that hangs on every breeze. Now the army's installed by the old gas yard wall, and the double wire goes higher and higher, with their tanks and their guns. Oh my God, what have they done to the town I loved so well? Now the music's gone, but they carry on, for their spirits been bruised, never broken. They will not forget, but their hearts they are set on tomorrow and peace once again. Now what's done is done, and what's won is won, and what's lost is lost and gone forever. I can only pray for a bright, brand new day in the town that I love so well. I can only pray for a bright, brand new day in the town that I loved so well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Back memories for you, Terry.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
Good
yeah.
memories.
No,
Yeah.
memories about. I mean, going funny enough on. Sorry, I'm talking about the wife here, so Una, forgive me. But my woman learned how to drive whilst we were on honeymoon below down in Kenmare and Kerry, believe it or not. And I was driving a wee two-door Fiesta car, and it was kind of, there wasn't much left of it after the stagnate above in Donegal. For I managed to, a sheep managed to hit me in the car and a bridge in the same night. Long story. So it's kind of a bit rough and tumble. So we went in Ballyliffin for the reception, singing that song, and myself and Una were staying in Buntrana that night in a hotel, and we left the wedding guests about 4 o'clock in the morning, but the milkman from Derry, he missed his lift back to Derry, so there was actually 3 of us left that night. It was myself and the new wife and the milkman from Derry, and we took off down the road with the cans rattling behind the wee Fiesta. 3 days later, we were being in Kenmare, and I had it in my head to get to Pat's Spillane bar, which was 2 mile out the road. So we got the B&B sorted out, and we dodged out the road to Pat's Spillane's pub, walked in through the door, and there was Pat Spillane pulling pints of Guinness. And in the corner there was a traditional music session going on, and I always brought my other love with me everywhere I went, and that was the accordion. So we went up to Pat Spillane, and we got the wee booklet saying that we had the wedding booklet that the mass was in. And I says, I play a bit of music, and oh, go on ahead, he says, terrible, he says, and they made a big scene, and because we were just married and we were getting free drink all night and a shocking bit of crack. But there was a boy in the bar that night, and he had a plaster of Paris the full length of his leg from his ankle up to his arse. And he had a plaster of Paris down his arm here, and he had a yoke in between the two, kind of howling the whole lot together. And he was walking around the pub that night and be knocking into people and whatnot. But the next day, anyway, I got up in the bed and breakfast, I says, doing it, it's time you learned how to drive. Now, the car wasn't that worth that much, so it was a safe enough bet. So I got into the wee Fiesta car that I'd bought at Barney Evans the week before. And we dodged down this wee back road, just no bigger than the roads around Sheatham. And a few chucks and pulls, and God, she walked out the pedals, and I was patting her on the leg and saying, "Oh, good girl yourself, you're doing it, Tara." And she come round a bend, and who was in the middle of the road? Only the boy with the big plaster of Paris up his leg, the plaster of Paris out his arm, and he was taking up the whole road. "Slow down," says I. But she hit the wrong pedal. And she took after this boy here, and he started hopping back to base, and he hit a high ditch and fell into a dry shock, head upside down. All I could see was the big white legs sticking out of the drain. So I got out anyhow, and I winched him up onto the road and dusted him down. Jesus says, "I'm sorry," says I. Says, "This one of mine's just after learning how to drive, we're just married," and blah, blah, blah. And so he was laying in the shock at this stage. And he says, "Any chance you take me out of the shock?" He says, "The blood's running to my head." So I winched about anyhow, and I dusted him down. And I says to him, "You were in Pat's Bananas pub last night." And you know what he says to me? "How do you recognise me?" True. So he was going for the sick pension below and on Shoppadoo and Cherry. Shoppadoo is the black shop. And I decided to give him a lift after his troubles. But so with the big leg and that and the two-door car, he was the devil in hell to get into the yoke. So Una went in where the milkman was a few days before in the back seat. And I got him in through the driver's seat and the leg out through the far window. And he was going to pick up the sick pension because the man, he was sick, he'd last at Paris. So we went in, and the Shoppadoo was a post office, a shop, and a pub, all under the one roof. So we drank the sick pension, and we left with that. And you can go on ahead there, give us something there.
You've got plenty of requests there. I think.
We
The
hear
requests are coming
requests with the Belfast Mill, Mountains of Pomeroy. You do that, do you?
We don't do Tyrone songs. We're from Armagh. Yes.
We have
You do nothing, Garson.
only our rivers run free as well.
I'm only
What about a
joking.
wee set of tunes there? Just
I will use how to just to kill her out. What do we do?
My shoulder. What about your wee instrumental?
Oh.
Yeah, we'll feature Padraig here on guitar this
What
time.
key is that in F, is it?
He tells me he hasn't played this thing in about 12 months. And I agree with him, the sound of it.
I'm not on my own. By the sounds of things, I'm not alone. It's very hard to get an outlet now for playing music.
I know a place. But I'm not telling you.
So, this, I suppose, it's a composition. It's called Ashan Mulloch. It's about, it's written, I suppose, it's a townland outside Inniskeen, I think, and it's where Cardinal O'Feed's people came from. So, I suppose we're connected with Sir Patrick and
That's the
Armagh.
cardinal that come from Cullyhanna, isn't that right?
Yeah, but apparently his other people.
I'm glad to see you're not claiming
So,
him, because most cross-blend people do. Anyway, go on ahead.
So, Ashan Mulloch, written by Martin McAllister.
Thank you. Okay. There's supposed to be a reel after that. The last time we played that tune was 12 months ago on Paddy's Day. So,
Today's go.
it's a live session, isn't it?
Even all the mistakes are live too.
Yeah, everything. Oh, this is great crack.
With a few requests for Only a Rivers Run Free
Right?
and Belfast Love.
What are you going to do?
That's good. I'm delighted.
Was I get try request for Belfast Mill? We've got a request for Belfast Mill. I'll give it a go. As you said yourself, it's been about a year or a year and a half since we've done half of these songs. So.
I was talking about Barney Evans there a minute ago, and just this come to mind when I was playing that last tune for some reason. And maybe it's because I'm going to join the Waterbird myself. But when they're putting the water in and around the Crosby Glen area, way back in the 60s or something like that, we're going around all the houses trying to get you to sign up to get it sorted. And they landed out the middle road across to Barney Evans area, and there was about 13 or 14 children in this wee house. And they knocked at the door and they says, we wonder what you've been interested in getting the water into the house. Says Barney, says, I'm doing my best, he says, to keep it out.
That's right. He was
There's a couple of holes in the roof.
He was known to everyone, you know. Even the British Army knew him, so they did, you know.
That's right, aye.
And he was walking out to Cullaville Road one day, and he had a donkey with him. And he was walking the donkey out towards Cullaville, and this old smart Brit shouts out through the wee peephole of the wind. He says, all right, Barney. He says, you taking your brother for a walk then? Barney looks up at the lookout post. He says, hi. He says, I'm taking him to join the British Army. So, anyway, go for it.
D. Well, I'll try that one.
At the east end of town, at the foot of the hill, there's a chimney so tall, and it's called the Belfast Mill. There's no smoke at all coming out of the stack, and the loom has shut down. It's so quiet I can't speak. And the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town. Weave and spin, weave and spin. There's no children playing in the dark, narrow streets, and the loom has shut down. It's so quiet I can't speak. The mill has shut down, it was the only life I know. Tell me, where will I go? Where will I go? And the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town. Weave and spin, weave and spin. Yes, the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town. Weave and spin, weave and spin. There's no smoke at all coming out of the stack, and the mill has shut down, and it's never coming by. The only tune I hear is the sound of the mill as she blows through the town. Weave and spin, weave and spin. Yes, the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town. Weave and spin, weave and spin. I'm too old to work, and I'm too young to die. Tell me, where will I go, my family and I? And the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town. Weave and spin, weave and spin. Yes, the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town. Weave and spin, weave and spin. One more time. Yes, the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town. Weave and spin, weave and spin. Weave and spin, weave and spin. Weave and spin. Weave and spin.
Anybody from Belfast?
Strong and heavy here.
Wicklow Hills for Colleen Savage.
Oh, good girl, Colleen.
Colleen Savage, yeah. We know her. We know all about her. She's a storyteller now, you know.
Is she?
Ah, yeah.
Oh, qualified.
Yeah, qualified
That's great,
storyteller.
yeah.
now,
Good
yeah.
girl, Colleen.
It didn't take
She
a
didn't-
qualification
she
for her to tell the story.
It didn't. You took the words out of me mouth.
We're going to give a shout out as well
Colleen Savage.
to Megan, who is out in London. And we've got a big hello to Joan Bellew as well over in Kilty Ban.
Oh, good girl, Joan.
Connor Murray is looking the Boston Rose.
He can't. She's married, I think, since I spoke to her last. She's gone. Sorry about that, Connor.
Gonna do only our rivers.
Do something later. Do that person you do. We'll liven her up here a wee bit first, and this wee County Down song. Oh, whatever key. James is key. Whatever. When he's tuned up, I'll tell you a yarn.
I'll try to slip out for a second.
My mother told me that when she got the driving license years ago, she bought it for £1 in Newry and Mourne District Council in Newry back, and I must have been probably the 50s or 60s, I don't know. But Phil Quinn lived just above the crossroads, Sheetham Crossroads, a bachelor man. And when I was maybe 10 years of age, he was 80. So he must have been born an awful long time ago. He's dead a lifetime. And Phil decided that he would go into the Newry and Mourne District Council, you see, because they had decided then that you would have to do a driving test. But there was a 6-month honeymoon period where if you were in and you paid the £1, you got the license. Now, the only thing Phil Quinn ever drove was a bicycle. So when he went to Newry and Mourne District Council, got the licence anyhow, and he had this mad notion into his head that he'd go and see Belfast, because he was never no further than maybe Cullyhanna Village or over through Drumlower. So the first thing he had to do was get a car. So we went to that boy again that we mentioned earlier, Barney Evans. The Barney Evans was the car salesman in the area, and he could sell snow to the Eskimos, this boy. So up Phil went anyhow. Phil says, I'm looking for a yoke, Barney. And Barney says, how the yoke, you he says, in round the back. The Barney used to park the cars round the back of the shed over a big puddle of water so that you couldn't get underneath the car to see the rust. Round Phil went, wee Morris Minor, that's the yoke for you, Barney. A very clean car, he says. The only thing in the back of that car, he says, was a bishop's hat. Barney, or Phil says, I'll take it, he says. How much is it? £100. The Phil was 80 at this stage and he wasn't the fittest. And at that time, cars had out alternators and stuff, and you spent your life pushing cars about the road to get them started. And Phil says, "Tell me, Barney," he says, "I'm going to Belfast in the morning," he says, "will this yoke start?" "Oh," says Barney, he says, "if you're not up early enough," he says, "she'd be away without you." So he bought the car here, and like my woman down below in Kenmare, he hit the 2 or 3 pedals, a few chucks and pulls, and next minute, but jeez, he took off out across Bedlen, down to Sheetham, and he parked her up for the night. And the next morning, he got up and away again, got the yoke going, and doing about 10 or 15 mile up through the middle of Cullyhanna village. The whole village is out looking at Phil, heading for Belfast in this yoke anyhow. And he made it to Belfast, but sure, he never seen anything like it in his life, nor did he know anything about the rules of the road. And he was driving up and down one-way streets below in Belfast, and through lights and one thing or another. About 12 o'clock in the day, he took the whole of Belfast to a standstill at Shaftesbury Square. And this policeman run over, and he knocked the window, and Phil put down the window. "Licence, please," says the policeman. So Phil handed out the brand new licence. "Mr. Quinn," says the policeman, he says, "did you not see the lights?" "Lights," says Phil, "in the middle of the day." "No," says the policeman, he says, "the red, orange and green lights." "Oh, Jesus, Phil, he did, sure," he says, "aren't they lovely?" That's as much as he knew about the road. On ahead, what are we doing?
Start the County Down.
No, why, that's right, yeah.
I just wanted, before you start, we have to give a shout out to Don Torkin, listening all the way from Canada. So there you go, we're reaching the green fields of Canada, boys. Not far away.
You're very welcome to the Zoom.
Don Torkin.
He sounds like a highwayman, doesn't he?
Could be a woman.
Could be a woman, that's right. We'll have to investigate that. From Canada. Paddy McCann from Drumrower, he went there, wanted him to out to Canada. He says, "What are you going to do when you go out there?" He says, "I'm going to drink Canada Dry."
Near the Bombridge down the county down one morning last July, down a boring green, the sweet Colleen, she smiled as she passed me by. She looked so neat from 2 by feet, the shine of her nut brown hair was a coaxing hell of the shake myself to make sure I was standing there. From Bantry Bay, Derry Cay, go with the double in town, and no maid I sing of the sweet Colleen I met in the county down. From Bantry Bay, Derry Cay, go with the double in town, no maid I sing of the sweet Colleen I met in the county down. When I spit, I shook my head, I gazed and feeling queer, and I says I to a passer-by, the maid with the nut bright hair. He smiled at me with glee, says he, the gem of Ireland's crown. It's young Roisin McCann, the banks of the Ban, the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay of the Derry Cay, go with the double in town, and no maid I sing of the sweet Colleen I met in the county down. From Bantry Bay of the Derry Cay, go with the double in town, and no maid I sing of the sweet Colleen I met in the county down. She'd a soft bright eye and a look so sly and a smile that rose in June, and she held each note with an auburn throne, she lifted lamenting tunes. No part and dance, she wasn't a trance, she skipped to a jig or reel, and when in their eyes you reckon you sold the car the county. From Bantry Bay, Derry Cay, go with the double in town, and no maid I sing of the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down. From Bantry Bay of the Derry Cay, go with the double in town, and no maid I sing of the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down. From Bantry Bay, Derry Cay, go with the double in town, and no maid I sing of the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down.
Especially from Dawn, all the way from Canada.
That's right.
So we've got the request for Only a Rivers Run Free and
Wicklow Hills.
Wicklow Hills for Colleen. Yeah, we could definitely do that. My Belfast Love as well.
Yeah.
Very good. When apples still grow in November, when blossoms still bloom from each tree, when leaves are still green in December, it's then that our land will be free. I wonder her hills and her valleys, and still through my sorrow I see a land that has never known freedom, and still only our rivers run free. Well, I drink to the death of her manhood, those men who would rather have died than to live in the cold chains of bondage, to bring back their rights were denied. Oh, where are you now when we need you? What burns where the flame used to be? Are you gone like the snows of last winter? And still only our rivers run free. How sweet is life, but we're crying. How mellow the wine, but it's dry. How fragrant the rose, but it's dying. How gentle the wind, but it sighs. What good is in youth when it's aging? What joy are in eyes that can see, when there's sorrow in sunshine and flowers, and still only her rivers run free. Where are you now when we need you? What burns
where the flame used to be? Are you gone like the snows of last winter? And still only our rivers run free. And still only our rivers run free. And still only our rivers
run free? Yeah, something like that, anyway. Right, what have you got there, Terry?
Terry's got a list of
Please
stuff
play
here.
a wee tune for Kate Conlon. She is 5 tomorrow.
Oh my God! Happy birthday, Kate! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Kate Conlon! Happy birthday to you! There you are.
and many more.
We've got Belfast Love, Wicklow Hills.
It's been a while since I've done that. Aye. Good girl, Colin, putting us under pressure like that. Hey? I remember this.
The autumn leaves are filled with copper shades. I see the bird's neck in the frame. A figure walks into the sunset. Someone goes past suspended from the sky. Takes more imagination when everything's remote control. For me it's just a case of what's on the far side of the road. Tell everybody I'm gone away for 10 years. I'm going to wander among the Wicklow Hills. Among the Wicklow Hills.
The travelling children
In their Sunday clothes, lost on the corner of the street. Fat gypsy lady smacks a window pane.
a farm
Farm
dog.
dog gets out on the motorway. Takes more imagination when everything's remote control. For me it's just a case of what's on the far side of the road. Tell everybody I'm gone away for 10 years. I'm going to wander among the Wicklow Hills. Among the Wicklow Hills.
Takes more
imagination when everything's remote control. For me it's just a case of what's on the far side of the road. Tell everybody that I'm going away for 10 years. I'm going to wander among the Wicklow Hills, among the Wicklow Hills, the Wicklow Hills.
Voices drift across an empty room. Written by Mickey Kinnan. Scent of apples on the breeze. A big plane sweeps across an evening sky.
There's someone
Sleeping in a cardboard house, that's right. Takes more imagination when everything's remote control. For me it's just a case of what's on the far side of the road. Tell everybody I'm gonna wait for 10 years. I'm going to wander among the Wicklow Hills, among the Wicklow Hills, among the Wicklow Hills, among the Wicklow Hills.
That's for Colleen.
Okay.
But I see you're in trouble. We got there and then, just about.
So I have a request. There's a request come in here for a poem. So I'll just. So someone requested for a poem earlier on, and it was it's a W.B. Yeats poem, and it's just by chance I actually know the poem myself. It's called "The Song of the Wandering Angus," and I guess it's about a chap who wanders around most of his life, and like the rest of us is waiting on love and all them things to come into our lives. So it's a favourite of my own, so I'll read it out to you now. The Song of Wandering Angus. I went out to the hazel wood because a fire was in my head. I cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-light stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and I caught a little silver trout. And when I had laid it on the floor and I went to blow the fire aflame, something rustled on the floor and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. And though I am old with wandering, through hollow lands and hilly lands I will find out where she is gone. And I will kiss her lips and I will take her hand and will walk along long dappled grass and pluck till time and times are done. The silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. The Song of Wandering Angus. So there you go. Whoever requested that, thank you. So it looks like, folks, I've been left here to my own devices. You can never rely on the two Conlons, really, you know that. One has gone for a mug of tea and the other's gone to the toilet. Boys, come back! So here they are now on their return. Well, I think my mic's up far enough. I'd like to suggest a wee tune before the time. We're going through this rightly. We're going to be out of time before we know it. So there's a lovely air that was written by Turlough O'Carolan on harp, and it's called Shebeg Shemore, and it's about the big hill and the small hill. And so Terry Conlon here and myself would have played this at numerous occasions, and why not give it a lash now? Have it now, bye. that's for Eamon and Cherie O'Connor down in Raven and Rostraver. That's for the pair of them. They'll be tuned in there today now, and they'll be watching us. So there you go, lads.
Here's one to sing along. I met my love by the gasworks wall, dreamed a dream by the old canal. I kissed my girl by the factory wall. It's a dirty old town, it's a dirty old town. The clouds are drifting all across the moon. Cats are prowling all along their beat. There's springs and girls from the streets at night. But it's a dirty old town, it's a dirty old town.
I'm going to make me
Such
a big sharp axe,
shining steel, tempered in the fire. I'll chop you down
like an old dead tree.
But it's a dirty old town, it's a dirty old town. I met my love, where are you?
By the gasworks wall,
Sing! Dreamed a dream by the old canal. I kissed my girl by the factory wall. It's a dirty old town, it's a dirty old town. It's a dirty old town, it's a dirty old town. It's a dirty old town, it's a dirty old town. Well, I hope you're well into your second keg of Guinness there at home for St. Paddy's Day.
Oh, you must have the house wrecked by now, dancing around the place. Not
I'd
the picture
say so.
hanging on the wall.
Oh, not be nothing left. But Joan Bellia, I hope you're behaving yourself, be out in Kiltyban. You're not going too mad there now.
There's a request here for a song that was written by Finbar McGee, as recently described as a wordsmith. And Finbar he wrote a song for the Choctaw people. That's an Indian tribe that there's a project on in conjunction with the TAP partnership, Traditional Arts Partnership in Mullaban, and Finbar wrote a lovely song for the piece. But this is another song that he'd written some time ago called My Belfast Love. Beautiful songs.
one aimless walk through Armor Park, one cold grey autumn morning. a diamond bright came into sight, just like a jewel shone, with sapphire eyes that would hypnotize and cast on me a spell, and ruby lips I longed to kiss, had not the nerve to tell. You are my Belfast love, there's no one above you. You're my Belfast belle, you see, there's no one but you for me, and I will love you endlessly. You, my Belfast love. When you greeted me so graciously, you set my heart aglow, and like a child I was beguiled, and I just had to know your name and from where you came, and with me would you go to the end of time? Will you be mine and let this blossom grow? You are my Belfast love, there's no one above you. You're my Belfast belle, you see, there's no one but you for me, and I will love you endlessly. You, my Belfast love. Come take my hand, across this land I'd fly you to the moon. You'll see the 7 seas each day would end too soon, and if we are graced with young, this story to them I'll tell, how we first kissed in the morning mist, how deep in love I fell. You are my Belfast love, and there's no one above you. You're my Belfast belle, you see, there's no one but you for me, and I will love you endlessly. You, my Belfast love. You are my Belfast love. Oh, and there's no one above you. You're my Belfast belle, you see, there's no one but you for me, and I will love you endlessly. You, my Belfast love. You, my Belfast love.
Barmy Yee. St. Paddy's Day, so we're about to play a drinking song.
We're coming close to the end of the set now, folks.
This is called Johnny Jump Up. Now, for those of you who don't know, Johnny Jump Up is the name of a cider that's brewed below in Youghal in County Cork. And when they brew the cider in whiskey barrels, and they leave a wee drop of whiskey in the bottom of the barrel, and they brew the cider. And it's fairly strong stuff, and in fact, it would blow the head clean off you. I had a feed of it one time. Well, I don't remember having it actually because I got too drunk, but I know I had it because I wasn't well the next day.
He's got no story to tell about it.
This is and the name of the cider is called Johnny Jump Up Cider. So if you're down in Youghal, don't go near Johnny Jump Up Cider. We're a few minutes. We have to shut down.
Well, lads, it's been a complete pleasure now having given this opportunity to play for you here today on St. Patrick's Day. And we wish you all the best of luck and stay safe for everyone. And stay great.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy St. Paddy's Day.
On the 4th of July, 1806, we set sail from